Okay, I just finished the sermon for Underground, how to date well, how to wait well. And so now this is something that we're wanting to sort of craft for your Bathos group. What I'd like for you to do, I'm just going to ask a question right up front, ask you guys to sort of wrestle through it for a little bit, and then come back to the video and we'll talk some more. But here's the question I want you to wrestle with as a group. What are the top 3 things that you think a couple needs to pay attention to in order to date well? What are the top 3 things you think? This is your opinion. These are your ideas. And so would you stop and just now have that discussion, and then we'll come back to some more. Thanks. Now, what I did in the sermon is I talked about 10 considerations for dating well, and then I talked about 7 things that go into waiting well. And I'm not going to really talk about waiting well. I have a question for you at the end about that, but let me just go over my 10, and then I have some questions for you to ponder about that. It'd probably be helpful if anyone took notes and you're there in the group. Hopefully you have your notes with you. That might be helpful in keeping these things in front of everybody. But if not, listen to them and take notes as I read them off to you. Number 1, in order to date well, number 1 was to be a person of prayer. Number 2 was to date in groups. And number 3 was to date in public. Number 4 was for guys. Guys are to need to lead. And then number 5 was for ladies. Sorry, I have a knock at the door.
He said I could come by anytime. Oh gosh, you're doing that.
That is so awesome.
Okay, we've dealt with the crisis that was at the door. Now, I think I'm at number 5. Ladies, be encouraging. Number 6 was, if there is no DTR in place, then be very, very careful about your use of technology. Number 7 is watch the speed of your relationship and also pay attention to what really is driving the speed of your relationship. Number 8 is there someone walking with you and watching over your soul? And then number 9 was, are you listening to community? And then finally, 10 was at the very end of the sermon, and I talked about, okay, you've messed up, what happens now? And that God is ready to heal, and He's ready to reclaim a past that's broken, and He's ready to revoice that past so that it speaks with His voice into your identity. So anyway, okay, but those are the 10. It's not sort of. Those are the 10 that I mentioned in the sermon. My first question about those is, I'd like for you to just sort of go around the circle and just ask yourself, talk about a little bit, ask each other, which one of those speaks to you the most, and why does it speak to you the most? So if you'll have that discussion and then come back and we'll look at another question about these. Glad you're back. Hope that was a good discussion for you. Another question I have is that, is there any one of these 10 that you would really like to get your hands on and improve it? Make it better than what it's saying. Make it sharper, make it clearer, make it include something that was left out, whatever. Is there one of these 10 that you could work to try to improve or fit or customize for yourself? And if so, which one, and how would you like to do that? That's the next question. So wrestle with that for a little bit and then we'll come back. Okay, last question on the 10. What would be your number 11? I gave you 10 things to do for dating well, 10 considerations. Well, what would be your number 11? What would you add to this list? And so talk about that around the circle. And then next, when you come back, we'll have one more question about waiting well. Okay, I hope this has helped spark some good conversation between you. The last question I have is about waiting well, and it revolves around you. What obstacle or what is in you that makes waiting really difficult? What kind of things rise up or cause a struggle for you to wait on the Lord well. So talk about that. And then I hope that after all this discussion, you have some things to pray about with each other, and then you send each other into the week in good fashion. I love you. This is Papa Scott, hopefully helping you have a good conversation in your small group. Love you. Take care. Bye-bye.